Hi and welcome to our boat. We're going to have a look around and see some of the systems and setup that we have. By and large, it's a fairly standard 1984 Cavalier 28. Is a Cavalier 28. I won't go into too much information about the Cavalier yachts as I'm saving that for another time. As mentioned in part 1, she needs some paint, but for now we'll work on getting both the sailing and cruising systems the way we want them. This video will focus on some of the cruising systems with a full sailing view down the track. LRA is not a big boat. At 28 feet, about 8.5 metres on deck, it's more of a pocket cruiser, and with its high cabin top really is from another design era. That said, as you approach you start to understand that it is bigger than your first thought. It has a masthead sloop rig, and while definitely not a racer, it's a powered up boat, and we'll explore that in another video. I have to apologise for the solar paneling gloriously leaning up against the cabin. I promise to mount it correctly one day. Now it has a really wide transom, a fat butt as I call it. What it does is it gives it loads of room in the cockpit, which is fantastic. I love the wide walk-around deck. It's very safe. The previous owner decided to paint every inch of the deck and superstructure with gritty, non-skid paint. Works great, but looks atrocious. It's a nightmare to keep clean. I'd like to strip it back, but I'm scared about what's underneath. The large hatch provides great ventilation for the cabin. The Manson Supreme anchor is second to none. We wanted the boat to be simple for single-handed sailing. The Rolly Tasca Genoa on a Profil C90 furler is just fantastic. I want to thank Greg from Rolly Tasca Australia for his advice and guidance with the main setup. The boom bag and lazy jacks make single-handed sailing so simple. Bimini from Road Tech Marine works great, and although I've had to re-engineer some aspects to suit our purposes, including having the canopy tailored, it works just great. Entry to the cabin is steep, but it's worth it for the headroom. The dinette folds down into a spacious double berth, which is about 2 meters in length. Fantastic. There's an enclosed head to port, which was a mandatory requirement as far as our teenage daughter Arabella was concerned. As with most yachts, the engine box is under the companionway. There's a small but functional galley to starboard with lots of storage room below. Our fridge works great, but I'd like to build one into the boat one day as it does take up some room. The forward cabin is actually larger than it looks in this video. The inner forestay is easily removed to allow access to the V-berth. Those V-berth cushions are about 2 meters long, which is plenty of room. There's an insert which sits where the forestay is in this shot. As you can see by all the switching, most of the electricity comes from underneath that quarter berth. There are 3 batteries in total, 2 house batteries and a starter battery. That provides all the power that we need. And in a moment, I'm going to go through how we control it. So first of all, our solar panel is a Sunman 185 watt. It comes in through a Victron Energy Smart Solar MPPT controller. That sends all our power into our 2 house batteries. The starter battery is powered by a 20 watt solar panel coming into a Marine 10 MPPT charge controller. That is specific to that battery. What I love about the smart controller and the smart monitors is their connectivity. I can monitor everything and control everything through simple apps on my phone. For one of the house batteries, I do have an external monitor, but it is rarely used. So what we can see here are the Victron Energy apps at work. I'm currently monitoring the power coming in, and I can flick over to the smart monitor for the house battery. And there's also a spot down the bottom which measures voltage off the starter battery. I can simply go to the smart shunt, which is monitoring the auxiliary lithium battery. And then I can head back to the solar controller and just monitor what kind of power is coming in. As like most yachties out there, I'm a weather monitoring freak, so I want to make sure I know what the weather is all the time. And I also have a simple app there to control the fridge, believe it or not. Makes life very, very simple. So apart from the sailing improvements, which we'll go through in another video, I have made some improvements inside the boat that have made life a lot more pleasant. I've improved the ventilation between the cabin and the storage lockers. They can get a bit mouldy otherwise. I've returned the cabin lighting to the traditional look by installing these Repro LED lights. They use hardly any power but look fantastic. I've cleaned up and protected the lovely original features. And I'll leave the last words to Eric Andera. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching.